What's up, everybody? Bishop Chris Johnson, aka The Greatness Coach, bringing you another episode of Pastor Plus, and I'm excited. I've been on a quest, I've been on a journey to sit down with business professionals, entrepreneurs, leaders in their own regard to talk about this concept of Pastor Plus, moving forward in one direction and helping leaders and pastors find other influences outside of the pulpit. And so today I'm sitting with another professional. He is a certified speaker. He has spoken professionally for over 24 years. He is the author of Lead Out Loud, Keys to Understanding Your Professional Excellence. I'm excited to have him on the Pastor Plus podcast. Everyone help me welcome Mr. Vincent Phipps. Mr. Phipps, thank you so much for being on.
Thank you, Pastor Johnson, for having me, sir. It is an honor and a privilege to be here. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to share more knowledge to all of your phenomenal listeners.
That is so amazing. Listen, I want, if you could take a few moments just to kind of let everyone know who you are and what it is that you do and what you're up to right now.
Yes, sir. The name of our company is Communication VIP, Training and Coaching. My most important profession is being a husband and a father.
Yes.
I have the honor and the joy of teaching presentation and leadership and professional development skills all over the world. I've given over 4,000 paid presentations. I have the honor of being recognized in the top 1% of the world's best speakers and trainers. I have my undergraduate degree from MTSU.
Go Big Blue.
Yes, sir. Big Blue, baby. Them Raiders in the house, baby. I have my undergraduate in speech language communication. My first master's is in executive management, and my second is in organizational leadership. I am also the owner of Communication VIP, and the VIP stands for what we teach in very impactful presentations. And you'll like this one, Pastor Johnson. The VIP also encapsulates my initials, Vincent Ivan Phipps.
Oh, wow. That's awesome. I love that.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
That is awesome. Listen, I'm excited about, having this conversation with you because I've seen so many leaders, especially over the past 2 years, so many leaders and influencers and speakers have struggles with having opportunity to, perfect their craft or find speaking engagements and things of that nature. So let's just kind of jump right in. What you
Absolutely.
do is so vitally important. What you're able to do is, as far as certifying speakers, if I'm a speaker, if I'm a leader, and I'm thinking about getting better at what I do, what are some of the things you would recommend? How do we get started doing that?
The first thing you want to do, Pastor Johnson, is to get a professional. We don't need to do our own back surgery. We don't need to do our own psychological exams. We don't need to try to just give ourselves nutrition tips. Get a professional that's what they do. The reason it's so imperative, Pastor Johnson, that especially as spiritual leaders, most of the ones who I know, they're so well educated, they're so well versed, they talk to so many different types of people that rarely are spiritual leaders, or especially professionals, rarely are we the ones who are the recipients of training. Wow. We're usually disseminating, we're usually teaching. You with me, Pastor Johnson? So if you are constantly cooking, you get great at cooking. But every once in a while, when it's time for you to be fed, all of a sudden, you don't know how to explain how you want your dish. You don't know how to explain, hey, because you're so busy doing everything. Yeah. Now it's time for us to be the recipients. It's hard for us to be in a learning role.
Yes.
So for the first thing we need to do, get a professional that, one, knows what they're doing. Don't just get somebody that speaks well that doesn't have academic or technical knowledge. Wow. You also want to get someone to be your coach who is going to tell you the truth. I remember, Pastor Johnson, when I was coming up, either in Catholic school or Methodist school, we always had those teachers or those advisors that always told you good stuff. And if you said the sermon wrong or if you didn't say the prayer right, they would never, they go, well, bless his heart, he doing the best he can. They wouldn't tell us the truth. So you never got better. Yeah. So you want a coach that will tell you the truth about, here's where you're messing up. Here's what you need to fix. Wow. So the first thing you want to do is to get a professional coach to assist you. And the second thing is we have to change our levels of humility, Pastor Johnson. Because when we're asked to be guest speakers or experts, being an expert in your field
Yeah.
doesn't mean you're an expert in all fields.
Wow. Wow.
So what we need to do is to be comfortable being critiqued, being corrected, and to take that with a sense of humility and with a sense of suppressed ego. You're here to help. I'll give you an example.
Yeah.
I wrote my this book, Lead Out Loud.
Uh-huh.
At the time I wrote this, I did not have the skills that I thought were impressive, Pastor Johnson. And my editor was saying, you're using too many big words that no one's going to understand. And I was insecure, Pastor Johnson, because I didn't have all the accolades that I'm so honored to have now. So I was trying to impress people. You with me, Pastor Johnson?
I'm with you. I'm with you.
My editor said, Vincent, no one's going to read the book the way it is. And I get on the defensive, well, you're not a speaker, editor. You're not a professional coach, editor. You edit books. I'm the speaker. I'm the trainer. And so me and my editor did not click. I go home, vented, and my wife said, baby, what would you do if somebody questioned you about saying or bad eye contact? What would you tell them? I said, I would tell them that I'm the expert. I know what I'm doing. Trust me. She said, then you need to shut up, listen to your editor, and trust them.
Wow.
And walks off. Player, Pastor Johnson, what?
Yes.
So we need to be correctable and coachable and get a coach. Those are the two things I would recommend for anyone that wants to improve.
Man, you're helping me. this is so great because I know so many pastors who really can't even fathom going outside of their pulpits to begin to speak. I know so many business leaders who have valuable content who wouldn't even fathom packaging up what they do. How important is content to, being a professional speaker? If I'm going to go speak, I need something to speak about, right?
Absolutely. Yes, sir. Here's what is even more important than content.
Okay.
Content is huge because once you get past someone's charisma or their likability, now you need validity. And according to behavioral science, there are 46% of the population that don't care about charisma.
Wow.
They want to make sure, is what you're saying based on scripture? Is what you're saying consistent with how you live your life? Yeah. Don't tell me that I should honor the holy doctrine when I just saw you say something disrespectful to Sister Williams in the hallway.
Wow.
Don't tell me that you should honor your parents when you haven't called your father or your mother in 4 months, and both of them are now at the stage where they need your help more than you need theirs. So, hey, first of all, be consistent in your habits. No matter Muslim, Christian, are you consistent in what you preaching? That's first.
Wow.
Second is when it comes. Is this okay? You asked me to be the guest.
I love it. Bring it.
Okay.
Bring it. I love it.
Okay. The next thing we want to do is to make sure that when we are speaking, what's more important than just content is competence.
Wow.
By competence, I mean, if you stand in front of a pulpit or if you get in front of an audience and your volume's low, your eye contact is on the floor, you're mumbling, and you say, good morning, everyone. I'm very excited to be here today. You've already done yourself and your message an injustice.
Wow. Because
you could be a PhD, and if you don't deliver your content with confidence, you would never get credit for being competent.
Now, I'm going to go back and quote that. Now, I'll quote you on it.
Yes, sir. That's it, Pastor Johnson. Hey, who cares if you're knowledgeable if you seem terrified?
That's good.
Thank you, sir.
Confidence. I'm hearing these C words. I'm a preacher, so I remember stuff like that.
Yes, sir. You will never get credit for being competent until you can speak with confidence.
My God. So let me say this. There's so many pastors and leaders, business leaders who may be listening, and they're saying, man, how do I gain the confidence? How do I gain the confidence to get up in front of people? I know business leaders. Let's go outside of the pulpit for example. I know people who are saved, who are Christians, but they own businesses, but they have a message, they have a story to tell, they have something to say, but they lack the confidence. How do I build that confidence to get up in front of people and tell my story?
First, whether you have any type of theological background or if you are a business owner, what's important is to understand that you have value. You have something to share. Your perspective, your input. People, whether you are Islamic or Buddhist or Muslim or atheist, are you trying to make the world a better place? Are you trying to make a difference? When you know that what you have to share is valid, that's going to give you a confidence boost. For those that need that extra edge, I recommend that they do two things, Pastor Johnson. Okay. And both of these are going to be tough for people. You ready?
I'm ready.
Number one, start videotaping yourself. Most people won't do it, Pastor John. They hate it. Videotape yourself. When you can have a leader stand in front of an audience and you're okay with your posture, you're okay with your eye contact, that means that out of your message, 55% of your presentation is going to be in your body language. So how you pump your fist, how you make eye contact, if you stand back when you move, these are things that are adding visual emphasis to your presentations.
Wow.
So you've got to know what you're doing. When we are speaking, Pastor Johnson, the left part of our brain controls all of our vocabulary, but the right part controls our emotional content and our involuntary muscular movements. So in other words, when we get nervous, Pastor Johnson, our left side drops down and we start those ums and uhs and snapping the fingers and what was I trying to say? And what was that Bible verse again? Because I was trying to keep up. But the right side is having a field day, baby. And if you can control your confidence, it's going to make you look more comfortable, even though on the inside you're terrified, and you won't know what you're doing because at the time you're speaking, we're so focusing on the words, we are almost oblivious to the body language and the tone.
Wow.
And the more nervous or scared we get, the more our vocabulary seems to decimate, and the more our fear and our nonverbal seems to accelerate. That's why the angrier people get, the louder they get. That's why the more nervous you get, the more fidgety you get. That's what FBI agents use to determine if you're being the truth. You start that, I don't know who shot him. Yes, you do. So one, videotape yourself to see what the world is seeing. The second thing you got to do is you need to ask for feedback. Don't just look at your video and go, well, I think this, that. Because, you know, Pastor Johnson, being a professional like yourself, we're more critical of ourselves than other people. Yeah. So you got to ask other people their feedback. How comfortable do I look? How convincing do I sound? What if you play back your video with no volume and let somebody else look at it? Ask them how comfortable you look. You know what? I do this for my public speaking class, Pastor Johnson. I will take videos of President Barack Obama and also of Margaret Thatcher or Malcolm X or Adolf Hitler, and I will play their videos with no sound. And I'll have my class, I don't ask them about their ethics or if they're decent people. I'll say, does this person look comfortable? Does this person look fired up? Does this person look angry? And some of them don't even know who the speakers are, but they can say, well, this person looks angry. This person looks like they're really serious. And they can tell that from the body language. So if we can critique others, we got to be willing to critique ourselves.
Wow. The body language is so key. I know one of the speakers that I know, just being coming up, listening to preachers all of the time, one of the people we studied all the time was Martin Luther King. And he used so many metaphors in his speaking. Is this a good practice, or is it depending on what environment I'm in? The use of metaphor and picturesque language, trying to get people to kind of picture. We think in pictures. What is your advice on that? Should we be limited in metaphors? And
here's what I recommend, Pastor Johnson.
Okay.
You should always be authentic. Be authentic. Is that who you are? If we look at someone such as Reverend Jesse Jackson.
Yes.
He uses a lot of alliteration when he speaks. If you look at someone like with the great due respect in our past, you look at Johnny Cochran. If it doesn't fit, you must have quit. He would use rhyming schemes often. If you look at someone like Dr. King, who would often use he would use just allegories, and he would say, "No, I want to live in a world where my children are not judged by the color of their skin, but by the content of their character." Yeah. So when you look at those sound bites, that's who those people are. You with me?
Got you.
If you take someone such as Michelle Obama, she doesn't use those anecdotes because her authenticity reigns through. Wow. If you use someone such as Robin Williams, he is so animated, he doesn't have time to structure stuff because you're trying to keep up with them.
Wow.
But whether you are male, female, African-American, Caucasian, when you use those anecdotes, those allegories, that onomatopoeia or alliteration or any type of vernacular twist, any of these techniques are all part of things that can connect with your audiences, but is that who you are? Could you imagine if Dr. King was asked to be as animated as Robin Williams? Can you imagine what it would look like if John F. Kennedy was asked to be funny on stage? You have to be who you are.
That's good.
And the speakers that you're mentioning, each of them was authentic in their delivery. Yeah. So you can have someone such as Tony Robbins, who comes out with smoke and he's jumping up and down like this. Well, Dr. King not going to do that, but both of them are effective within their own authenticity.
Wow. Be authentically you is what I'm hearing. That is such a blessing.
Be who you are.
Yeah. Yeah, that's awesome. You know, that's one of the things that I've seen over the years is, you know, people who get that opportunity to tell their story or to share what they have. Like you said, they're telling their authentic stories. These things are emanating from their personalities. This is who they are, and it resonates with people. And one of the things that you are offering. And I was just kind of being nosy on your website there. One of the things you're offering.
Thank you for being nosy.
Is you're offering some classes as it relates to certified speakers. Can you tell us a little bit more about that and how we can connect with that and those who may be watching? I think there's a certification at the end of this, right?
Yes, sir. The certification that is administered through the National Speakers Association is called the CSP, the Certified Speaker Professional. There are approximately 100,000 professional speakers in the world, but only about 790 have ever earned the CSP. And that's that medal that you see right back there. That's that medal that I've earned in my CSP. What I am offering is a course registration called Pro Speakers Kit. This is a 3-day workshop that is for anybody that wants to be a paid professional speaker. Wow. Pro Speakers Kit looks at taking someone. Now, this isn't a speech class. This is for people, 82% of the population still rank public speaking as a top 5 fear. You know that, Pastor Johnson.
Yeah.
They're terrified of it. But here's the thing. Pro Speakers Kit is not for people who are afraid to speak. Pro Speakers Kit are for the weird folks like you and me, Pastor Johnson, that are trying to find the microphone. hey, this thing on, baby. Hey. Pro Speakers Kit is for people who want to get paid to speak. They want to be professional speakers that are wanting to take their pulpit skills, their congregational skills, their leadership skills, their motivational skills, and to transfer them to other. You may want to talk to the youth. You may want to talk to those who are incarcerated. You may want to talk to young professionals. You may want to talk to business owners. But it's taking that skill and packaging it so that you can become a paid professional speaker. Pro Speakers Kit is 3 days where day 1, we talk about the professional speaking industry. Then day 2, we look at how to customize your technique. Then on day 3, we look at practice of how to make sure that your skill is in alignment with your target audience, but you walk away as a paid professional speaker ready to get booked.
You know, that's and this may be a very basic and elementary question, but for clarity,
I love basic questions.
What is a professional speaker? Is it just someone who just says I'm there's some self-claimed professional speakers, but what actually is a professional speaker?
I'm glad you asked, Pastor Johnson. First, let me correct something. Not in you, but in the industry. Most people are using the wrong term.
Okay.
And they call themselves public speakers.
Ah, okay.
Stop doing that. If you want, public speakers do not get paid.
Wow.
The difference of a professional speaker is professional speakers, we've made it a business. We've made it part of the industry. We have standards that we want to adhere to. For example, Pastor Johnson, if you are wanting to have your transmission fixed, you can go to a certified mechanic with their AME certification, or you can go to your cousin down the street that just works on cars. Now, your cousin may have the skill, but you never go to your cousin for an appendicitis.
Right.
So for a paid professional speaker, it's a level of credibility of, I'm going to have videos prepared for you. I can customize my content. If you are a professional speaker, Pastor Johnson, and you're paid to give a 30-minute presentation, and then you show up and they say, Pastor Johnson, thank you so much. We've had a change in our schedule. Can you make your 35-minute presentations? Can you make it 45 minutes instead? And you go, absolutely. If they say, you know what, Pastor Johnson, we were going to have you speak to the youth, and there's going to be 25 people there. There's not going to be over 100. Is that okay? And you say, absolutely. It's where you have the skill to adapt what you do to who you do it for, and you're not just paying you for charisma or for creativity or for humor. They're paying you for life-changing skills and value.
Wow.
And as a professional, we put in the time to make sure that when we step off stage, the people in the audience are better than when we showed up.
That's amazing. I've taken so many notes during this whole conversation.
Oh, you're too kind, brother. Well, I hope it was advantageous.
This has been awesome. Those of you who are just connecting on this video or watching this playback, I'm talking with Mr. Vincent Phipps, and we're talking about being a professional speaker. And I am so excited to have him on the Pastor Plus podcast. And Mr. Phipps, what I like to do is in our final moments, I'll give my guests the opportunity to leave whatever message, whatever motivational message, closing argument, whatever you want to do to connect with the audience. But before I do that, I want to remind everyone that the Pastor Plus camp is coming up, and where we're getting in the room with pastors and talking about things like this, professional speaking, talking about book writing and packaging up content. So that's coming up here on December 9th and the 10th. Go to my website, cajohnson.org, for more information. But listen, here to give us our final thought is Mr. Vincent Phipps. Mr. Phipps, take it away.
When it comes to improving your life, you need to have a mentor. You need someone that's going to invest their intellect, their energy, and their emotional content into making you better. When it comes to a mentor, you need to have two things in every mentor. You need someone that's going to have responsibility and respondability. Here's the difference. If someone just has responsibility, that means they are invested in making sure that you get better. They're not there to take your money. They're not just there for a personal accolade. They're there to make sure you get better. The respondability is, you may say, well, Oprah Winfrey is my mentor, or you may say that Winston Churchill is my mentor. And these are not exactly mentors. They don't know you. They're not calling you back. You can't text them. You need respondability. In other words, you need someone that's going to answer your questions, respond to your phone calls, reply to your emails, meet with you for coffee, tea, smoothie, whatever it is that you consume as a beverage. When you have someone who has your responsibility, they want you to get better, and a respondability, new word for you all, a respondability of someone that's going to follow up with you. That's the person you want in your corner to make sure you get better. If I can be of assistance as your mentor, please visit my website at vincentphipps.com, or feel free to give me a call directly at 423-400-1040. It's not just enough to want to make a positive difference in your interpersonal communications, you've got to have the skills. Get a mentor that will help you take that next level so that you can make a positive difference in the lives of others.